Jack, every time I see one of your videos, there is this tension between what you're saying and what you're titling your video. This last video is a very good example of this, because you touch on so many different subjects in your video. You talk about different things, but for some reason you choose for your video title the one thing that would label that video as a confrontational one. You title it, "What has atheism got to offer? Nothing." But you barely touch on that. You talk an awful lot more about you, yourself, which is understandable, of course, but more about your relationship with other people and how they talk to you, how they interact with you. And that's interesting, because you know full well that you and I have had our run-ins over the past in how you approach, well, us, atheists, and how I personally perceive your way of interacting with us. And you know full well that this has, on several occasions in the past, caused me to be lambast you quite a bit. This is not going to be one of those videos, though. You see, I just want to talk to you about a couple of the things you've been saying. The first thing I want to talk to you about is how you have split the atheists into more or less two camps. And I find that very interesting because of the basis on which you have decided to make your separation there. Now, obviously, atheists are plentiful, and it's not possible to simply divide them into two groups. But that aside, let's focus for a moment on the two groups that you did create in your video. The first type of atheist you talk about is like a laissez-faire type of atheist, somebody who can befriend you and who is quite happy to accept that you believe in a God. Well, they don't, you do, but it's okay with them. They don't mind, it doesn't bother them, and they're happy to allow you to believe what you believe. And as you said, that's cool. And then on the other hand, of course, you've got the militant, aggressive type of atheist who is out there in order to try and convince people that there is no God, and to deconvert people forcefully if necessary, destroy religion, wipe it off the face of this earth. I don't know whether you are surprised to hear this. There might be an element of surprise there anyway, but I would consider myself to a large extent in the first camp. No matter how angry my outbursts to you in the past have been, I hope, at least, that I've always made it abundantly clear, and I can say this without the slightest hint of condescension, with no intent to patronize or anything like that, that I accept 100% that a belief in God is right for you. It is clear from the way you talk that that belief system, for some reason that is beyond me, I have to admit, but for some reason it greatly enriches your life. So for you, personally, Christianity is the right thing. You have got to be a Christian. That is what you need to be. To try and be something else would be horrible for you. It would make you miserable, and I would certainly recommend you don't go there. I do not want to deconvert you, Jack. I do not want you to lose your faith. But what I find very funny is the way you sort of brushed off this statement of your hypothetical atheist who said that they're happy for you to believe in what they believe, and that's cool. What I have had problems with you with in the past, Jack, is that I don't feel that is fully reciprocated. And that is where I have had the problem all the time. Whilst I am perfectly happy that you need to be a Christian and that is fundamentally right for you to be, I do not see that you accept fully, without equivocation, without hidden threats, without subtext or anything like that it is right for me to state that there is no God. That I have looked at the evidence that any Christian, any believer in a deity has ever presented to me, and I've never seen anything that comes even close to convincing me that there could be a God. And I can also state positively that there is no God. I can say God does not exist, because I know that when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to a Christian. You don't believe in a God. You don't believe in some God. You don't believe in something that's out there that might be greater and more powerful than us. You believe very specifically in Yahweh or Jehovah or whatever you call it. And that entity, I find, is internally so inconsistent and has clear traces and scars on it from the human tinkering and from its origin in an older, far less sophisticated human mythology, that I know that this is an invention and it has no basis in reality. So I state positively that there is no God. Doesn't mean I'm not open-minded to the fact that there might be something out there, but it's not your God, Jack. But anyway, I'm not here to try and convince you. Like I said, I am more than happy to accept that Christianity is right for you. And I am not going to denigrate you for it. I'm not going to say that you're delusional or that you're crazy or anything like that. But I will insist that you accept that my belief system is right for me. And that there will be no equivocation there. That this is unconditional and without subtext. Now the other type of atheist, because I am very much in that camp when it comes to positively stating that there is no God, at least as far as you're concerned, with the God that you believe in. The one final point I wanted to make is the point that you keep on going on about truth, because there you do miss the point by miles, or light years as I put it in my comment. You see, people who have my kind of outlook on life, people who base what they do believe in and do not believe in on things that can be verified or can be reasoned out, we don't concern ourselves with truth. I see truth as a personal relationship kind of thing. A relationship with another person can be based on truth, which means that you and that person are truthful to each other and truthful to yourself as you're dealing with that other person. Stating something like there is no God has nothing to do with truth. It's a statement of fact. It's something that, reasoning from what I know personally and what I don't know, what I can see, what I cannot see, what I can understand and what I cannot understand, is the conclusion that I have to reach with regard to your God. It makes perfect sense to me, and I have to reject any possibility of the existence of your God. It's not truth that I'm talking about. It's a statement of fact. Your God does not exist. Fact. Just like life has evolved on this planet for 4 billion years. Fact. The sun revolves around the center of the Milky Way. Fact. The earth revolves around the sun. Fact. The moon revolves around the earth. Fact. bland statements of fact. That's what we're talking about when we say there is no God. It's not a truth statement. And meaning, of course, nah, I'm not going to go there, Jack, because that has been explained to you several times before. So I hope this will open a door through which we can both pass, and maybe others with us, and from which we can move on. But I'm going to tell you straight up and right here. You need to be what you need to be. I need to be what I need to be. And we are both going to accept that of each other. If you want to be respected by atheists, then start accepting that they are what they are for reasons that are good as far as they're concerned. You do not have to adopt those reasons for yourself. Nobody is asking you to do that. Don't forget that, Jack. And then maybe, if you start showing us some respect, it'll be easier for us to start reciprocating that. And I want to leave you with that thought.